What's the situation over at BOCES Northtown?
We had a call that a student was possibly armed with a gun and threatening to shoot at the school. This was reported by another student.
A student that was in the school?
Correct.
Okay, reported they were, okay. And what did you guys find when you were on scene?
I can't answer those questions not having been over there, and our officers are still actively finishing up law enforcement activities there. Just turn this down. What I can tell you is that it was determined ultimately that this was not an accurate report. The student has since admitted that she had lied about this. That's the information I'm getting. So at this point I can tell you for sure no one's safety was ever in jeopardy. No one was injured and was even remotely close to being injured.
What's happening behind you here at this scene?
When you have an emergency of this nature, we don't want people rushing to the scene, but you have students at a school whose parents are extremely concerned about their well-being and safety, and their first instinct might be to run to the school, drive to the school. We don't want them doing that to put themselves in danger and interfere with law enforcement activities. So we like to give them an off-site location to respond to satisfy that urge for information that their child is safe. So we directed them here, coordinated with Amherst PD to use this location, safe, away from the scene. We can translate information to them so that they feel comfortable that everything's being done that can be done and that their child is safe.
What are you able to tell them right now? What are the parents asking?
The superintendent of the Sweet Home School District is here. Now that school is unique. The activities that go on there involve a number of different school districts being represented when you consider the students that are there. So this is just one school superintendent. He was explaining to them the process for releasing the students, that he knew that everyone was safe, and now it was about letting law enforcement finish what their activities are and then getting an orderly release in place, not having all the parents rush back over there, getting the buses involved and letting the parents know what to do next.
Lieutenant, what's going to happen to the individual? Is the person going to be charged? Is it going to be detained? Further questioning?
Hard to say that. Don't know who it is, the age of the child, the person that was over there making that report. The nature of the entire incident is something I don't have enough information about, but we will certainly follow up on the complaint of falsely reporting.
Was it phoned in?
No, it was another student at the school reported it to a faculty member that they knew of a student that had a gun there, but again, turned out not to be true.
Okay, so
It
no
appears
weapon.
to the untrained eye that there is an incredible SWAT presence here. I just watched a half a dozen vehicles drive by. There's a big SWAT presence over on the other side of the boulevard. Why so many and heavily armed police officers?
Well, one of the reasons why you're seeing a lot of what appears to be a lot of guys is you're on a jurisdictional border between Amherst and Tonawanda. So we had our team of guys that was going to be actively doing the clearing of the building over there, and Amherst also activated individuals from their various units to also be ready to respond. So again, overwhelming show of force maybe to the untrained eye, but better to have more than not enough, right? You know, the activities of each individual officer are pretty well established. Our patrolmen have a certain role to play. They wait for the guys that are more the tactical guys to play another role. So there are various layers that happen. When you get an emergency like this, you take it as seriously as possible. They follow it by the book. You know, they don't take it lightly because maybe it's not true. If they do something like that, maybe someone gets injured.
About how many students are there in the school, do you know?
I don't know that.
Will law enforcement be involved in removing the students from the school, getting them over here to their parents?
I don't know that for sure, but all indications are no, the school's going to arrange the dismissal.
Lieutenant, what can you tell other students, you know, when something like this happens, this is not the way to get attention?
If a child of the age of those that are going to the school over there doesn't already know that doing something like this is incredibly dangerous and incredibly hurtful to a lot of people, I don't know if anything I can say is going to communicate that any more strongly than someone in their own household can do. So that starts in the home. Hopefully that they learn that lesson, and in this case, of course, doesn't seem like that lesson was learned.
Did the student that made the report come forward to say that he or she had lied, or how did you?
I'm getting a lot of secondhand information. I only know that it appears that it had been falsely reported. I don't know the details of how or who or what.
Does Tonawanda have a school resource officer in that building?
No, the only school resource officers we have are at the two high schools. You know, we do have other programs where officers are on the road and they stop at various schools to do safety checks throughout the day. Again, I'm not directly involved in that program, so it's difficult for me to tell you exactly what their activities are, who would be assigned there, or when they would be there.
Is that school on your route?
I don't know enough about it to say, but it's in our jurisdiction, so I'm guessing that there would be an officer that would spend some time there periodically.
Do you have a timeline for the rest of the afternoon here? Any expectations of when the students might be coming out?
Again, not being at the scene, I don't know if law enforcement activities have concluded, and then the orderly dismissal can be arranged by the school. So basically, that's the timeline. Law enforcement finishes, our guys have to be satisfied before they leave that in fact everyone is safe. It in fact was a falsely reported incident, and then they'll release that scene. The school district will take over and do whatever dismissal that they want to do.
This is pretty textbook for you guys. It seems, as Dooley mentioned, I mean, a lot of law enforcement showing up very quickly, responding. This is something you guys prepare for.
Right, this is exactly the kind of thing we prepare for, and the response hopefully will be reviewed afterward to see what we did well, what we could do better next time. Again, the goal is to make sure that if in fact this was a real scenario, that it could be concluded without anyone being hurt.
Thank you.
Thanks,
All right,
Lieutenant.
guys.